Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Suzerain. Let us continue on for last time off. So we are very much in depth, but hopefully we are maybe can pull something together. We'll see. So let's first look at the briefing of the L1 railway construction. L1 railway construction, the perfect opportunity to visit the green technology nerve center of Sordland. Dozens of electrical engineers from the city were part of the electrification upgrade on the rail track. The main purpose of our visit was to solve construction issues that began to endanger the deadline. The Galsword Research Council was very willing to let us use our facilities because the reactors were, the rectors, not too sure what a rector is, were pleased by the increase of education funding. Someone looked a little bit more stressed than useful. I was also here to find solutions. He eyed me a little. I do like how so many different factors of this game interact with each other. Like, we're getting more information here because I gave a boost to education funding. If I didn't do that, I'm sure this whole event either would not be happening or would be going a different way entirely. Someone looked a little bit more stressed than usual. Gus was also here to find solutions. He eyed me for a while. So we got the Minister of Economy, Minister of Rural Development. There's also mentions of support from the Mayor of Enrica, Curtin-Lest, who was grateful for the L1 investment. We scheduled the project to finish in late 1955, but I have some concerns about the construction due to progress being slower than expected. I expected some issues before we even started this. This corporation is full of fossils that don't know how to solve problems reactively. The SSC reported that they will have a slowdown due to several areas on the way to Gelsword having a potential for landslides that could endanger the workers. My argument is that they should have known about it. How can we speed up construction to get it back on track? That is the million-rand question. There are a couple of issues that need to be resolved if we want the SSC to make the deadline. One of the important issues is the construction management team. The other could be the outdated construction methods used, which require more manpower, but we aren't sure if that contributes to the issue. State-owned corporations like them never really receive performance penalties, and that's why they're incompetent and lack responsibility. We can't let management delay the project. It's unacceptable. Couldn't agree more. This shouldn't keep going on any longer. You were right. My best would be to warn them. There's a chance they might wake up to the situation. Give them serious warnings. I don't think a slap on the wrist might be enough. You know, they can't retaliate and bite the hand that beats them. I don't expect them to bite, but maybe they can further slow down construction by protesting. Simon took a deep breath and continued. One way or another, we have to solve this issue. This can lead to real complications down the line otherwise. We can simply give up construction managers more money, warn them, or replace them. I say replace them with more competent managers. It should help resolve the resources being handled inefficiently. You think I can give them more money? I'm already -2 budget. I can't afford more than that. I don't really know what the penalty... Like, I'm sure at some point this reaches, like, -80. You're going to lose. But I don't know what that number actually is. We can warn them or replace them. I feel like we just replace them. Just replace the construction managers with more competent people to ensure the deadline hits. It's good to see that failure is rewarded and punished. We will find more competent people through our networks. I'll make some calls, got good contacts that can be added to potential candidates. That should be it. Good that we figured out a way to move the process forward. The meeting ended, the three of us toured the advanced research and development divisions of Gelsword. The day-long visit ended with a dinner involving the most important people in the city. Many of them were scientists. Later, we made our way back to Hallslord. Okay, fantastic. So I'm assuming this is just telling me that, yeah, I've replaced some new people, speeding up construction efforts. We're still halfway done. And next is a discussion, change of taxes. Please give me more money. That's really all I want is more cold, hard cash. We were on the top floor of the Business Council building, which had a great view of the beautiful Latvian. I looked outside from the tall glass windows. The Marking Sea stretched as far as the eye could see, and was dotted with many ships towards the horizon. They were mostly cargo ships carrying precious goods in and out of Sordland. Tracing back to past those ships, I looked at the harbor. Latvian was the home of one of the largest harbors in the entire continent. Many dockyard workers were loading and unloading the containers. Work never stops here. The door opened. Simon, Mikael, and Edith entered the meeting room. Mr. President. Mr. President, nice to see you again. And good afternoon, Mr. President. So we got the co-chair of the NBC, chairman of CBS. So, okay, Central Bank, and you are the National Business Council. Take a seat and let's begin. Simon, okay, please put that away. Simon put down his bag on the table and started collecting his documents while the others slowly took their seats. Mr. President, before we start, I would like to mention some rumors that I had heard. Workers' Rights Act did not sit well with many business insiders, especially the first section about the minimum wages. I heard the same. This has caused these businesses to lose millions of rent just overnight. Unfortunately, really, during a recession. I don't care about rumors. If someone wants to say something, they can say it directly to me. Neither of them responded. Simon waited patiently. Once everyone was ready, he adjusted his glasses. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody here for their work on our tax system reform. We all know how complicated our current system is, and this work wouldn't be possible without you. He turned to me. The ultimate goal here is to end recession. Before we move ahead and start formulating a plan, we need to determine our direction, Mr. President. We have a few possibilities as a result of the work we have done so far. We can increase, maintain, or decrease the taxes for large corporations. I believe some of us in the room have a few strong opinions about this. In parallel, we could increase, maintain, or decrease taxes for the small and medium businesses. Let's start with large corporations, and we'll move on to small businesses. I mean, what's the outcome if we increase taxes for large corporations? It's not an option at this point. Our economy is in shambles. Taking us remaining for business will destroy the economy further. What if we decrease business taxes on small businesses and put some relief on them? I see. I'm not sure if that's a good idea, but the current state of the economy. I do believe this is one way to get out of the recession. It's through the trade and economic transformation of large corporations. Increasing their taxes will turn them on you. I would go one step further. Increasing their taxes will have disastrous results, and it may make them make you an enemy of them. Trust me, Mr. President. Nobody wants to make an enemy of them. Maybe you're right. Is there a downside to keeping things as they are? I'm of the opinion that if we don't make any changes, nothing will change. To stop the recession, we need to do something. I think so too. So everybody's kind of in agreement that something needs to change. Okay, then what if we decrease taxes? It's not I know we're broke. so what you're telling me is that every option's bad. Okay, I feel like we'll just kind of... We'll just maintain the taxes. This will not change anything. We won't gain anything by standing still. Look, I've been told every option is bad. So like, what do you want me to do about it? Okay, someone opened his briefcase and swapped a stack of papers he had in front of it with another stack. Let's move on to the small and medium businesses. Again, is there any downside? Sordland needs to change other decision. The current state of the economy is in shambles. What if we increase taxes? Unfortunately, look. Is everything not a possible? What are you okay, so Simon, here's what he's telling me. Okay, we need to change. We need to change something. I mean, I guess he's actually saying there's not much we can do. So I guess we'll just maintain the taxes because I've made myself very broke. Very well. I have another note. We'll look into how... I mean, look. Why would I... Who's... You know, enjoy Latvian. The last meeting room, but I decided to stay a bit longer. I went by the windows again. Okay, so we accomplished nothing. High school's been rewarded. Smlack threatens to do military incursions, targeting BFF. Which is, okay, blue is Freeman front, and red you call for peace. Okay, so nothing's really changed. Probably got some event here. What do you guys want? Because everything's going to be pretty much bad. Visit and inspect the school in Liren. As part of the program, we arrived in Liren to visit a middle school. The prestigious Torrent High School was situated close to the suburbs. Okay, Torrent Hills School was situated close to the suburbs, just outside the city center. The building was flanked by 2 hills, each beautifully dotted with shrubs and flowers. Lucy and Ciara and I got out of our cars and met at the entrance. Our presence had not gone unnoticed. Apart from our guards, there was at least 10 reporters following us around. That must be the principal right this way, sir. The principal is a man of short stature with a bushy mustache and a pair of glasses. He approaches quickly, but stopped by security guards. They patted him down and searched him. We don't know who he is, but we know he's got a great beard. And by that, I mean his beard is shit. It's so bad. I'll wait for them to finish. Waited for them to finish, and one of the guards turned me and nodded. Mr. President, it's such an honor to meet you. You know, just shake his hand. I don't need to smile towards the camera. Welcome to our humble school. You know, I'm sorry about the security cards. It's a necessity. You know, standard procedure. Excellent. You must be Mr. Galade. It's a pleasure to meet you. And Miss Walda, so good for you to come all the way out here. Thank you. At the entrance, the school's motto is inscribed on the wall with giant letters. Instrensis Agricar av Gerengia. Whatever it means. Education is the premise of progress in all societies and all families. We walk through the gates. There are many students lined up in the front of their stairs to the main building. The school band started playing as we entered. All the students immediately snapped to attention and turned to me. It was more like a military institution than a school. Exactly. That's what we pride ourselves on. Discipline is the utmost importance in our school. I mean, some discipline never hurt anybody. Sia bristled. Up to a point, perhaps. Look at these kids. I can assure you that our students are very well educated. In fact, our school is one of the top 10 middle schools in the entirety of Sordland. Now, we'll watch the students take their daily student oath. Look at these fucking kids. Boy and girl went up to stage and grabbed their microphones. The students turned to them. I am a sword. My strength lies in my blood. I will respect my honorable elders. I will protect the young. My life belongs to Sordland now, and it will belong to it forever. I will always follow the guiding light of Colonel Sol and the great swords. Morga Westcor, Victrin Sista. I'm not at the kids. I almost forgot the words, which proves the uselessness of the oath. No one even remembers it after they graduate. If you wish to follow me, we'll take a look at one of our classrooms. Through the hallways, we made our way towards classroom 7A. As soon as I entered, the whole classroom rose up and snapped to attention. You know, sit down, please. The students sat down. The same boy and girl walked up to us. These are our top students of our top class. This here is my son. The boy came forward me and saluted me like a military officer. I like how principal doesn't even get a name. Tell me, Mr. President, what you want to be. Mr. President, I want to be a general, sir. I'm ready to sacrifice myself for my country and you, sir. I don't like any of these options. You'll make a fine soldier in the future. At ease, General. Thank you, sir. Principal squeezed his son's shoulders, and the boy looked up and smiled at his father. He patted him on the back and sent him off to his seat. I'm not gonna like tell this son like, hey, dipshit, you're gonna die in the mud somewhere. Don't worry about it. This is simply ridiculous. You're raising soldiers here, not students. I am so sorry. I'll immediately perform disciplinary actions. How about you, young lady? What do you think about this? She's our top student of the school. Her excellent grades are too. I didn't ask you. She bent down and gently addressed the young student. What do you think about your school? Just between us girls. I'm sick of having to knit and sew while the boys learn about science and chemistry. I'm smarter than all of them. Why do I have to take these stupid handcrafting classes? Shh, you don't know here. Shut up. Let her speak. Sierra's presence has emboldened the girl. She went on. My math and reading scores are the best in the school, but they won't let me take the class I want just because I'm a girl. I want to be a scientist, not some soldier's wife. We need more people like you in this country. I'd applaud your determination. We need more than words. We need action, concrete action. We need to protect girls like this. The cameras flashed once again. I looked around the classroom and saw a large portrait of Colonel Sol. I didn't say anything. Well then, unfortunately, we are almost out of time. We have other meetings to attend to today. Thank you for your warm welcome. Mr. President, Lucien, please go ahead. I'd like to speak with the girl alone. Thank you for the tour. Thank you for visiting our school, sir. Come on, class. 1, 2. All the students in the classroom yelled, but the boy whom I met was the loudest. Morgna Westcor. Vectrin Sista. After another round of photos, we're departed. Okay, we can brief on proposed education reform. I think that's basically all we can do right now, so I think, you know what, why not get it done? You're still in Lirin. Staying at Amato's guest house to state employees. Sierra set up a meeting with me and Lucien to go over plans for education reform after our school visit. Lucy was seated across from me at the table, going through documents. Sierra entered the room. After the visit yesterday, I couldn't even sleep thinking about that little boy and girl. I have never been more sure of my intentions to reform our education systems. Lucian took off his reading glasses and put them on the table. I agree. An education reform is necessary. Exactly. Those students have to repeat that same soulless propaganda every single day. They're being brainwashed in an age where their minds need to be free. On top of that, young girls are being denied the same opportunity as boys. They're forced into the role of housewife before they even reach puberty. Nothing's changed since I went to school. Women like me, Lilith, Nia, even your wife. We had to study twice as hard to receive the same university education that you and Lucian took for granted. Is that the kind of country you want your daughters to grow up in? Mr. President, we need to bring change. We need to free the minds of these young people. They are our future. Very well. What do we need to do for education reform? Lucian's not even actually here. We need to keep politics out of our curriculum. Sol should only be viewed as a historical figure. Children shouldn't have to repeat his name every day. This is actively poisoning young bright minds. Instead of thinking for themselves, they're learning to take things at face value. We also need to ensure boys and girls need the same instruction. Handcrafts like knitting and sewing should be taught to both sexes or not at all. Sordland's youth must be technically skilled and capable for the next decade. That won't be possible within the amount of nationalistic indoctrination and narrow-minded thinking found in schools today. Either we raise a generation ready for the challenges of the future or not. What will it be? Let's reform the education system. You will not regret it. I will get to work immediately. Now that the decision's been made, you weren't even here, Lucian. You just popped up. Sierra skimmed over her documents for continuing. After the budget increased, the ministry quickly began formulating on plans on how to effectively use the money. And before moving forwards, the question of keeping education fully state-funded or allowing more new private schools to remain open. Tell us about the benefits of allowing private school. I made my opinion clear. I'm against it. But it would give us additional funds for education while increasing competition. It would go against our overall economic strategy of a planned economy. A few more minutes of deliberation pass. We have enough money to improve the education in Sordland. We do not need to complicate things further with a privatization incentive. Yeah, so now that, I mean, we've already spent the money on it, so we might as well do it ourselves. Although, that should be it for now. I'll get to work and report back later. It's been a very productive day. I will be returning to Hosord. No, thank you for your time. We dispersed after spending nearly the entire day together. I took a moment to simply breathe the fresh evening air of Liren. I felt calmer here somehow, but I would have to return to the chaos of Hosord soon enough. So what are you guys doing? I'm assuming it's about, we maintain taxes, keep the education solely by the state, and we order Sierra to start reforming the education system. We got a meeting with Gloria Tori on planned reforms. I don't remember who Gloria is, to be honest. Are you... Oh, right, no, you're the conservative leader of the assembly. Okay, now I remember. Her last name's Tori. Come on. I arrived to the Grand National Assembly, which is only a 5-minute drive away from the palace. Today I had a private meeting with Gloria Tori, one of the leading figures of the USP, to get her approval for the proposal. She's also key in reaching 150 signatories to propose a new constitution, as she had extensive control over our party's conservative and moderate wings. When I walked into the corridors of the Grand National Assembly, I was confronted by the memories of the historic building. Despite being a member of the Assembly not long ago, it now felt like a distant past. I walked into the left wing of the Assembly, which currently acted as the quarters for the USP. Gloria's office was the first one inside. I knocked on the door and entered. Good morning, Mrs. Tori. Good to see you here, Mr. Rayne. It was a small, neatly organized office. There were small figurines, photos, plants around that place. I had a homely feel, contrary to what my room felt like back in the day. On her gesture, I took a seat. The chair was very uncomfortable. I love what you did with the office, she smiled. A woman's touch, they call it. Like men can have a sense of tidiness or common sense. Which might actually be true. Anyway, let's keep this simple, Mr. Rayne. We know why we're here. You want me to give you my support. I don't see why the backbone of this party would support your rushed reforms against our party's founder, as well as the states. These reforms are very critical to the future, Mrs. Tori. They are certainly critical for destroying what our party has worked so hard to build. Even though you owe everything to this President Sol, I think you never liked him, nor the party he built. I would never betray our party. Whatever you tend to do, you'll be facing quite the opposition, Mr. Rayne. That's all I can say. Perhaps I can change your thoughts on the matter with some well-placed investments. Wait, I didn't mean to be trying to bribe you. You think you can bribe me with money, Mr. President? For your safety, I really hope that nobody heard this. The walls here are not as thick as your palace. I didn't mean to bribe you. That's not really what I meant. Even though rereading it, it's very clear that's kind of the intention. I'm sure we can make a deal. I'm not so sure about that, especially if you're trying to decrease the electoral threshold. Probably in hopes of bringing the communists into the assembly. You must have you must have to deal with either of them, or maybe the PFJP. Frem seems to be positive about giving you support too. I don't have a deal with anyone. I don't know how your acts can even be justified inside USP. I do not support an election threshold of 8%. Such a dangerous situation for us. Both the WBP and the CPS will benefit from this the most. I'd rather have the threshold unchanged. Does that ensure your support? I don't know what to say before seeing the commitment from you, Mr. Rayne. I could change reform to get rid of the commitment. Yes, I'll remove the change to the threshold. That's a positive development. But the changes to a member of Honor's Law is a major obstacle. It's clearly a move against President Sol, which we cannot stay idly by. You want to accuse him of aggressive policy. Okay, you want to accuse him for his aggressive policies in the past. Is that the intention here? You can't win this fight, Mr. President. Sol built this republic in the midst of blood and chaos. He demands respect. I have no intentions of putting Mr. President Sol on a trial. Then why are you taking away his title? Why are you going against the old man who fought all his life for our country? Okay, let's calm down. I'm here to listen to your concerns. I've already stated my concerns, Mr. President. Let's listen to you. I mean, I can't give up everything, right? Otherwise, I look weak. I mean, I don't want to have, like, permanent immunity for people. That seems like it could lead to some bad things. Let's try to find some common ground. Fine. Let's talk about other points then. I must say that I'd like to change regarding the appointments of ministers. That's one positive aspect, but moving on. It's also unbelievable that you're taking away the immunity of justices. That's a big mistake. Even though assembly is elected by the people, it does not hold judicial insight and neutrality to impeach justices. The separation of powers shouldn't be damaged. This is something I cannot accept. I don't see anything democratic here, Mr. President, can you? I could try to argue that it's benefiting the party. This will benefit the party. I continue to disagree. So what are you thinking about? Are you ready to make changes to your proposal, or should we continue with this? I cannot give concessions now. She raised an eyebrow and then look at the proposal on her table. You know what? I feel extra generous today. I believe I can give you my support. She positioned herself in the chair. But don't you ever forget, Mr. President. The conservatives will be expecting a lot from you. Of course. Good. Now that's settled, we can move on. I can get you the signatures needed for a proposal. I'll talk to the conservatives. But I hope there won't be any surprises, though, Mr. President. I assure you there's nothing you should be concerned about. I'll hold you to that promise. I'm positive that I can get you the signatures, but I can't vouch for all the conservatives of the party to vote for the constitutional changes. But that still depends on your policies, Mr. President. I have no problems with your proposal, and you have my word that I will help you get this out. I mean, which policies make you concerned? I'm concerned about the oligarchs and the state of our economy. I'm worried that they may influence you for their own benefit. I expect you not to pursue further privatization like Alfonso and fall into their trap. I am not Alfonso. I know. and that's why I want to see you succeed. She suddenly stood up. Anyhow, it was nice meeting you, Mr. President. She extended her hand for a firm handshake. After I shook her hand, she immediately sat back down. But now I need to get back to my duties, if you excuse me, Mr. President. Goodbye, Mrs. Tory. Thank you. She only responded with a nod as I left her office. But the conservative side now handled Albin and the reformist wing has my... And Albin and the reformist wing was my next obstacle to get the need 150 signatures on the proposal. I went outside. Sergei drove me back to the palace where I met Lucian and told him about the meeting with Gloria Tori. But I think with that meeting, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. Thanks everybody for watching. My name is Anthnwam. If you enjoyed, give me a thumbs up. Not enjoyed, click some down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.